What if I told you that there is a secret weapon in UI design that instantly creates consistency, clarity, and most importantly, balance? That secret weapon is called spacing. And in this video, I'll show you why spacing matters so much and how you can master it. And basically in no time. So stick around and let's jump in. I am completely starting from blank and I'm going to use 8 pixel grid system in this case. But one little hack that I want you to show is instead of clicking variables and setting up a number and starting from scratch, let's use a system that already exists and try to learn from it. Something like, let's close this. I don't have any variables as you see. I don't have any styles, nothing. I only set the foundations well. So here under the search panel, I will be looking at this. Okay, I recently used that. It's Keegan, generate design system, variable style and document. In this case, I will be eliminate all this typography and everything else, but I will be focusing on these things. There are 3 legs to spacing. One is radius. We all know we can take the edges and make them very soft or totally sharp. And size in general, like the text size, it can be a size of your card and whatsoever. And spacing. So spacing is, let's say, a padding in your button or a gap between 2 buttons. And let's go ahead and create all these variables up front. Boom, done. So instead of you doing from scratch, I now have 3 collections. For me, there's one problem, but I'll fix it right away, which is not a major deal, but I kind of like it in my own system. So what else? If you want to see everything right up front, you can also go to present. Yeah, radius, space and size. Present all. It says like it can take some time, but I really don't mind about this. As you all know, documentation is taking a lot of time as well. So let's go ahead and check it out. Spacing tokens from 0 to 72. These are radius. Cool. From full to none. And size as well. Good. Shout out to the designer and the company like Keegan Design. They are great. How I would like to build a design system is at least two level system, something like the primitives and the brand level. Like you at least have to have a system with 2 branches. A more scalable design system, there are like 3 legs to it. But let's start with simple and let's start with 2. Let's close these things. Cool. Let's play with variables right now. I just don't like that they are all in different categories or they are all in different collections. So let's bring back all the collections. But before, I will set a collection called, you can call it primitives, you can call whatever you want. I will create something like base. So let's start with radius, copy them, copy, and add it to my base. Yes, okay, cool. But before adding more numbers on top of this, what I'm going to do is I'll select all of them and create a new group and call it radius. Done. Let's go ahead and delete radius right now. Delete collection. Nice. And the second one is size. Select all. Copy. I can now also delete. Go to base. Paste. And this group is size. Nice. And lastly, space. Copy, delete. We are on the base. All variables paste. Let's call this space. Great. I have now 3 categories. And in total I have 36 variables. That's great. I can add more or delete more, change the names whatsoever. But one single problem that I have here is, let's go ahead and write 0 to UI, okay? Let's say that I am going to make a button or whatsoever. Let's put them in an auto layout as well and call it button for now. And for this button, I might need, let's say, a background color and also for the font size, I want to do something like 16. What else is like I would like to call it from, so this is your number, you can change it manually, write 20, but I would like to use variables right now. Click here, and as you see that this is a padding, but I literally see a radius, and that's definitely not a good way to show. So let's fix that issue very fast. So for these ones, I want them only to be appeared on the radius and nothing else. So select, edit variables, uncheck these, and just check corner radius. That's it. Coming back to this again. So when I click here, select a variable, I don't have this thing anymore. And if you want to categorize even more, which I highly encourage you to do, so size, let's decide things about size, edit. I would like size to be width and height, definitely. Not this one, we will come back to it. Text content from time to time. Size of stroke, yes. Layer opacity, maybe, but I will keep things simple as of today. So font weight not, but font size yes. Line height and letter spacing, paragraph spacing, they are all part of spacing. So I will keep size as these 4 categories. Cool. So for space, again, select all of them, right click, edit, and most likely space gap. Also, what else? Line height, this paragraph spacing. I think that's it. Yeah, again, I can come back and make major changes. So these are, again, in base level, I have all these settings. So how many minutes? Like 10 minutes in general, and you already have everything systemized, which is kind of cool. Let's use them right away by, for example, let's create some grids over here for my desktop. This is 1440, and so I will add layout guide plus columns, 12 columns, okay. So normally I'll leave it as 80-20. I have a metric for this one. Again, I see it here, radius, but I will double check on that. It should not appear here. This is going to be a space. For this, I will select medium. And let's say space again. If we have 80 or not. So we have 48 right now. And let's go ahead and fix that and add it to um, to our variable. Okay. I have it here. Excel. Okay. Excel 7 80 done. So let's go ahead and make this Excel 7. Boom. Come here. Space Excel 7. Cool. This is coming from space Excel 7. This is space medium. Cool. That is done. And all I have to do is add this one. Sorry, add it to my styles. And let's say 12 columns. Desktop. So that I don't need to do it over and over again. This is done. The second example that I would like to give is, so as you see, if I look at in developer mode, I see it, maybe I don't, but everything's coming from components. And the good thing about this thing is, let's come back to design mode once again. You remember that the ones that we set as XL7 80, if I select this and make it 1 pixel, everything changed right away, regardless if I have 10,000 different pages, which hopefully you don't. It will change it automatically. You can manipulate this data whenever you want. That's the beauty of variables. So the first example is done. The second example is, let's say I need something like a button. Button default. And this is going to be, again, button slash navigation. And okay, cool. What can I do with these things? So first and foremost, let's put them under a component set so that this becomes a button, and these properties becomes like navigation and the default one. And in terms of property, I'll write it type, so because this is the type of that button. So what do I have in general is, let's say I do not want in general padding. So space, let's go to space, and I want 0. Cool. And what else? I would like to go to space once again and say that I would prefer something like base, or base is too much. Let's do XS in general, that's fine. Again, for this one, I don't need any margin gap between child items, since in a navigational level, I'm not going to put any kind of icons or whatsoever. That is done. For this one, again, first and foremost, I need something like a background fill. For now, let's make it something like blue. We can change it all the way. And what else? Let's set the radius. As you see, I don't have any space. I don't have any size as well. So I want like a full one. But this would be from space, let's say 8. And this would be something like 32, maybe. Good. For this button, let's do something like 16. And just check it out if my button works well in this case or not. Yeah, 8 seems a little bit small, so let's make it 16, 12. So that's not the point. I'm getting extra detailed here, so you don't need it to. So this one is basically ready, but I would like to, of course, I can change it to default whatsoever. I would like to add property, and that's going to be something like the input property for this one, which is going to be add one and text navigation, or let's say input navigation, and same goes to this one. Input, I can, if I say if I select this, it's going to be also input navigation. So let's go ahead and change the default value for this. Again, most of my classes here on YouTube is totally off the cuff, so I can make mistakes, and I don't have any plans to edit them or cut them right away, because this is the deal. So obviously I can add like more buttons and things like that, but that is the case. So this is, let's say, home. That's it. And the spacing for each of them works as follows. Good. When I look at the in developer mode, yeah, the padding, radius full, and things like that. So that is going to make more sense to a developer instead of, and also they can see the outputs like space X, L2, things like that. We can take it another step further. Something like, come back to design mode. Something like, as I right now know spacing that is XL2 and this is SM, I can go ahead and open on my variables from base to another collection, create collection, and called brand. And let's go ahead and give like a number. The first number should be, let's say for my button component, and that's going to be under space or size. Yeah, let's name it space. And let's do it something like space under space. Let's categorize as vertical padding. Okay. And let's go ahead and check this is space. I think it was XS. We can change it after that. And the shortcut to duplicate this thing is Shift and Enter. For this one, I would like to do something like, okay, it's padding again, but this time this is horizontal. Horizontal padding. Something like this. Good. So let's go ahead and check it out instead of this one, because as you see, it is space XL fine, but we can do it better. So let's go ahead and say button. This is horizontal padding. Good. Nothing has changed since the values are the same. Again, for my button, this is going to be vertical padding. Done. So the vertical padding, I accidentally select 8. So let's go ahead and make it small. Boom, it's now 12. That kind of power is on you with these tools. So when I go ahead and select my home button and go to developer mode, as you see, we have button, space, vertical padding, horizontal padding, whatsoever. That's definitely making more sense now. And as you see, it's been 20 minutes so far, so you are already, as applying these things to your design upfront, you are already working like a pro. And cherry on top, this is more systematic way rather than giving like a random numbers with so many integers. That's totally a nightmare. I have been there, that's why I'm talking about this right now. And without further ado, let's go to card this time, and I will make a basic card system. But for this example, let's use my fonts, and for this one, young serif, nice 402 UI branding, which it's still in test phase, but I wouldn't call it like brand, it's like a test thing. Anyhow, and this looks boring already, so let's do something like this type of parentheses. And okay, the sizing, these are 16, so I'm happy to make them like 14 now. So instead of 14, I can go ahead and select size, okay, and call it 14. We don't have 14, we can add 14, but let's add base for now, okay. And that's it. Let's make this one left align, right align, cool. Align them. Because at the end of the day, in this card, this is going to be my category. The other one is going to be the date. And this one, 39 is too big. So first, select the font size here. The font size is large. And this is going to be, again, size, going back to here again. Or for this example, I would like to do it 150% instead of guessing. For the titles, I can definitely reduce that. So you see, I can select the font size as well. So the top part would be an auto layout, okay, and maybe let's say that these two are closer to each other, and this is maybe a little bit have more gap. So I change my mind and I'm going to do it gladly 32 and reduce this bad boy to 110. Cool. So let's go ahead and make this top part another auto layout. You say auto layout, cool. And then what else? Bring from my assets, since I have one button thing going on. Good. And how to call it this time? Read or explore. Cool. And yeah, I'm happy with everything, so I can make a auto layout, final auto layout. And as you see that the naming structure is terrible, absolute terrible. So let's go ahead and say rename layers and watch how it makes changes. Boom, container, header, image. And the good thing is right now it's nowhere near writing the UI basic or let's say 27 October. These are more developer friendly naming convention, and this is a let's say an image and description. Cool. So I have this, but the only thing that I will change is this is going to be my card. I'll give some spacing for each part, base spacing, and again base spacing, this one as well. For the padding, I might leave it as auto and it can push further all these child elements, but and this is like filling the thing, filling the container. So let's go ahead and say hug. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Maybe perhaps add like a little bit of fill color. Okay, a dark one, and some sort of base radius, maybe 12, maybe 16 corner radius. If I do that, I will have to double check and maybe increase the size of this to 20. Yeah, I feel more happier about that. So in that case, I can definitely convert into a component and then kind of give things like add and say category. Okay, and I can definitely give this one as a date. Okay, and definitely again doing the same mistake over and over again. This is going to be the title of my cart, and maybe I can even say, do I have a button or not? And I might say has button. Okay, true. And that's it. So if I take a copy out of that, I don't want a button, I want this and that. Cool, that's all I really want. And here is the title. I can change hello. It's all done. This is also good, so you understand the basic of both components and spacing, both at the same time. The third one is a section layout card. I don't know if I need my card here, but let's go ahead and bring each element right away. And one thing that I remember, that as you see that I can change the button name here, but I cannot change the button name there. So let's go ahead and fix that issue. That's not a big issue, but I can add, let me try to remember, because they change it all the time. I think that's another property. Yes, nested instances. What it means is there are instances within that card that could be nested. So in this case, it's a button. So if I click that, guess what happens? When I click this one, now the button nested item is here. So I can say, instead of explore, read more. Voila, done. So let's go ahead and add, press F, desktop, and from here I will use these two colors right up front, but let's go ahead and bring our layout guide from 12 columns. Done. What else? This time I will add this color as, let's say, okay, let's add it to our variables. In brand, we have the button, but we have, let's say, add another one called color / default. And as you know, I can change anytime my decision. So I can either do this, so bring back this value, or I can go to my base and I have everything related with spacing. I'll do a color one and call something like orange. Okay, more generic name, and select this one. and I will even call it something like orange 500. I know that this is somewhere in between. If I want to scale it from 100 to 500, it's somewhere between. So let's go ahead and link those two issues. From library, orange 500, which is great. Now, if I go back, and once again on base level, I will say that this thing should not be anywhere, because I only want an option to be able to see, let's say, the color default. Done. Okay. In this case, I need to change the color of this thing from red to something like white. Cool. And that is done. The another thing that I am wondering is to add on a base level. So let's go ahead and duplicate group, or I will add it as like 50. Okay, this is, let's say 50, and add this color, or to be more precise, this color, because I already know that that's a part of my scale. Let's go ahead and go to my brand color default, let's say text, or you name it, and orange 50. Done. So initially what I'm going to do is like select all the text we have instead of fill. So text, done. So color text, nice. Add it to this area. I'll also add this bad boy somewhere here, I don't know. And I do need some sort of let's say a heading, but I'll definitely need 1, 2, 3, 4. These 3 to be something like navigation buttons, and this is going to be a CTA button. So Shift A to auto layout, center these bad boys and call it navigation. Cool. Don't forget to make component everything. And let's go ahead and call like 1 by 1, something like this is going to be bio, and this is going to be something like about. Okay, and this is going to be contact. Oh, contact. Thank you. And this is going to be horses. Lovely. And let's say this is too much. Apply variable space. Let's say something like base 16. Too tight. Let's go ahead and large. Even too tight. 40. I need more breathing space for these things. Cool. Is it perfect? No, but it does the job. So I'll take it, and this is already an instance of a something else. So let's go ahead and create another auto layout and call it header this time. Me and my typos, and make a component so that I have like 2, 3 levels of components right away. And let's go ahead and add, let's say, 10 column structure. Is it perfect? Almost. Good. So that part is ready for the courses. And maybe I'll go ahead and do this card like that. And maybe I can add it let's say 3 columns. But as you see, nothing has changed in terms of these things. Paddings and margins, nothing has been changed. So that's done. What else? Yeah, I'm not happy with these stuff for now. Let's go ahead and take these out. And this is going to be cool for now, just to arrange them. So I'll do this thing as, again, this and that as good, and definitely use a size from my system. Let's use a size from the system. Good. Size is going to be, maybe 40 is too big. Not actually. But for the subtitles, I'm not that happy with that choice. Let's go down to 24, maybe 32. Fine. And for this thing, I would go ahead and say 110. I can also tokenize that thing, but I don't want to. I think 90 is better enough. And for this one and the other paragraph, I'll go ahead and select my font. Here is Mono, JetBrains. Go ahead and select. Let's do it big. Oh, this is too big. Yeah, the Mono itself have a very rich and condensed. But in this case, the thing is smaller, so I'll put like more spacing. Good. Not only that, for both of them, I will set something like the paragraph spacing in between. So this is space, not size. Something like 16 as well, or even 24, so that it becomes like rich, generous, yada yada. Let's make it a tiny bit bigger. Duplicate one thing else and put them in an auto layout. Give some spacing from space base. Good. So yeah, I think these are ready. All I have to do is like double check in terms of size whatsoever. These are looking good. Check it into one auto layout, and that's going to be something like a body container. And let's go ahead, check it out, what is going on here. Yes, when you make this size, let's say drag and drop, it thinks that you want a precise height for these things. So, but I don't. So now it seems way better. Align these. So yeah, more or less, I think you already understand, or maybe I'm already over-engineering this thing. So you see how easy it is for me to give the variables up front, kind of connect variables with the other variables as well. And also, how do I align things perfectly? And let's go ahead and say this one is also like a variable space, but I want slightly smaller. That's it. Why? Because maybe in the mobile version I need them a little bit tighter so that I can give it right away. This looks way better. Yep. Yeah, hope you understand something. Drop a like if you do understand. If you don't, drop a dislike. Or I prefer you to comment something below. And if you find a value in this type of videos, please share it with your friends. This will help me a lot to build this little channel and continue to give more videos along the way. And as always, it was a pleasure and hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.